Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to the Israelite nation. Brother Judah Israel, and I have another message for the listening ears of Yah's people. So giving honor to our Most High Yah, the Ruach HaKodesh, and our Messiah Yahushua Mashiach. Family, this message will be entitled, "The World is Offset Until Israel is Put Back into Its Rightful Place." That's right, this whole world is out of whack, family, because the nation of Israel, its people, are not where the Most High intended for them to be. Because our ancestors forsook the covenant and caused our Elohim to be filled with indignation and anger, so our people were cursed and we got placed to the tail, and our oppressors and all the nations were placed over us to be the head. And that only happened because our nation was cursed and went to the tail. But let me remind you, family, that was not the place for the Most High, the creator of all things, intended for his chosen people to be. So as a result that we are at the tail, the whole world is out of whack. The whole world is offset until Israel is put back into its rightful place. And I will show you this in scripture. And as always, I like to start out by saying, family, if you're interested in knowing what the 10 commandments are in the scriptures, please visit the book of Exodus chapter 20, verse 1 through 17. Our Messiah says in John chapter 14, verse 15, "If you love me, keep my commandments." There's another verse in 1 John chapter 2, verse 4 says, "He that says he know me and keepeth not my commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him." In Revelation chapter 22, verse 14, it says, "Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city." So family, I'll start reading in the 66 at Deuteronomy chapter 7. Verses 6 to 8, 14 to 16, and 21 to 23. So without delay, I'm just going to get right into it. Okay, Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6 and 8 says, "Speaking about the nation of Israel, this is what the Most High says. But thou art an holy people unto the Adonai, the Elohim. The Adonai, the Elohim, hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all that are upon the face of the earth." The nation of Israel were chosen to be his special people above all people that are on the face of the earth. Okay? That was the choice that our Father Yahuwah gave to the nation of Israel. This was Yah's choice, not ours. This was his choice. And the thing that he intended for it to be was that Israel, the nation that he chose, was to reign on top of all nations. Okay? And verse 7 says, "The Adonai did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because you were more in number than any people, for you were the fewest of all people. But because the Adonai loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers, okay, hath the Adonai brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen from the land of Pharaoh in Egypt." So he had promised our ancestors before they even got to Egypt, and that would be Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, okay? He had made a promise to them before they even got in Egypt. So he's going to keep his promise. Okay, so verse 14 to 16, it says here, "Thou shalt be blessed above all people." This is our Father's intent, that we would be blessed above all people. "There shall not be male or female barren among you or among your cattle. And the Adonai will take away from thee all sickness, and will put none of the evil diseases of Egypt, which thou knowest, upon thee, but will lay them upon all them that hate thee." Man. Just think if our people had just, kept doing right, we'd still be on top over everybody. His intent was to keep us on top for all time, to be his holy people above all nations. Okay, now verses 21 to 23, and it says here, thou shalt not be affrighted at them, for the Adonai the Elohim is among you, a mighty Elohim and terrible. And the Adonai the Elohim will put out those nations before thee by little and little. Thou mayest not consume them at once, lest the beasts of the field increase upon thee. But the Adonai the Elohim shall deliver thee unto them, and shall destroy them with a mighty destruction until they be destroyed. See, when our nations before they fell, they was the mighty nation. So our history was stolen from us, hidden from us. Identity was stolen from us, hidden from us. Others are assuming our identity and our history because we had a very rich history, family. You got a lot of our people who don't know who we are, and they think, it's because this was designed. These nations that our Father Yah allowed to come above us, to be our head, they did all these things. See, when we fell, our Father turned away from us. He turned the Ruach away from us, and he allowed the puppet master, Satan, to lead the world's nations to just devour his people, Israel. And it is still like that to this day. So as a result, the whole world is upset because Israel is not in place where Yah intended for us to be. And until he put us back in place, this world will still be out of whack. You see how things are going really crazy now, and I truly think Yah has allowed this man to get back in office over here in the daughter of Babylon to just, help to bring it down quicker. You see what he's doing. All the allies this country once had, he's turned all the allies against this nation. But the Most High is in charge, family. I know a lot of our people who voted for Kamala. Like I said before, I don't participate. I'm neutral in politics, but I'm just going to speak on it. I know a lot of our people was counting on Kamala to win and stuff like that. But see, the Most High is in charge, and he knows that he can bring this nation down because of its sin that it has committed against the nation of Israel since we've been here 400 years. So I truly believe that Yah has allowed this guy to come back in office so he can help to bring this nation down even quicker, because the sins of this nation has risen above to heaven. Okay? Out of all, and they don't repent of what they have done to his chosen people. So, you can clearly see it. I can. And I haven't forgotten that we had that eclipse last year in April. And, that's a warning sign, and so we're coming up on a year in April since that happened. But I truly think some more major things going to happen in this nation and around the world in the Psalm 83 nations, because Yah is doing some mighty things, and he's really stepping it up. I can truly see it. Okay, family, from here I'll be going to the book of Jubilees right now. Okay? So Yah had chosen Israel to be his nation above all people. He chose Israel. We didn't choose ourselves. He chose Israel. Let's make that perfectly clear. And it's not about bragging and nothing like that. This is what Scripture says. In order to understand what Yah is doing in the world, we need to know who his chosen people are, because he's working through his chosen people. He always has through the Scriptures. Okay, so and this also includes the nations of people who have been grafted into Israel. When I say stuff like Hebrew Israelite nation, I'm talking about the nations of people who have joined themselves with us in our Elohim. They're included in this too. The ones that love him and love his people. Okay, so Jubilees chapter 2, I'll start reading at verse 14, and these words are tiny, so I'm going to need my glasses. Okay, Jubilees chapter 2, verse 14, I'll be going all the way to 33. And it says here, and after Yah had done his creation in the 6 days, and then it starts saying, and after all this he created man, a man and a woman, he created them, and gave him dominion over all that is on the earth, and in the sea, and over everything that flies, and over every beast, over cattle, or everything that's in the sea, and in the abysses, and in the light, and in the darkness, and in everything. And he gave us great signs, the Sabbath day, okay, that we should work 6 days, but keep Sabbath on the Sabbath day from all work, and all the messages of the presence, and all the messages of sanctification, these two great classes. He has hidden us to keep the Sabbath with him in the heavens and on earth. And he said to us, behold, I will separate a people to myself from among all the peoples, and these will keep the Sabbath day. And I will sanctify them to myself as my people, and will bless them as I have sanctified the Sabbath day and sanctified it to myself. Even so will I bless them, and they will be my people, and I will be their Elohim. And I have chosen the seed of Jacob from among all that I have seen, and have written him down as my firstborn son. Our ancestor Jacob, Abraham's grandson. And have sanctified him to myself forever and ever, and I will teach them the Sabbath day, that they may keep Sabbath day to eat and drink, and to bless him who has created all things, as he has blessed and sanctified to himself a peculiar people above all peoples, and that they should keep the Sabbath together with us, those in heaven, Yah and the angels. Okay? And he caused his commands to ascend as a sweet Savior, acceptable before him all the days. There were 22 heads of mankind from Adam to Jacob, and 22 kinds of work were made until the seventh day. This is blessed and holy, and the former is also blessed and holy, and this one serves with that one for sanctification and blessing. And to these, Jacob and his seed, it was granted that they should always be the blessed and holy ones of the first testimony and law, even as he has sanctified and blessed the seventh day. On the seventh day, he created the heavens and the earth and everything that he created in 6 days, and Elohim made the seventh day holy from all his work. Therefore he commanded on its behalf that whosoever does any work thereon will die, and that he who defiles it will surely die. For that reason command the sons of Israel to observe this day, that they may keep it holy, and not do any work thereon, and not to defile it, as it is holier than all other days. This is what he gave to his people he chose, the Israelites, just the nation of Israel. And as I keep reading this, you understand exactly that it was just meant for the Israelites, the people that he chose out of all the other people on the earth, to keep the commandments and the seventh day holy. As I continue, he commanded on its behalf that whosoever do any work, thereon will die, and that he who defiles it shall surely die. For that reason command the sons of Israel to observe this day, that they may keep it holy, and not do any work thereon, and not to defile it, as it is holier than any other day. And whoever profanes it will surely die, and whoever does any work thereon will surely die forever. That the sons of Israel may observe this day throughout their generations, and not be rooted out of the land. That was one of the precursors, that they would still obey his commandments and keep the Sabbath day. And if our people had done that from generation to generation, we would still be on top of all the nations, the nation that he chose to be above all nations. We didn't choose it for ourselves. Yah chose it for the nation of Israel, For it is a holy day and a blessed day, and everyone who observes it and keeps Sabbath thereon from all his work will be holy and blessed throughout all days, like to us. Declare and say to the sons of Israel the law of this day, both that they should keep Sabbath thereon, and that they should not forsake it in the error of their hearts, and that it is not lawful to do any work thereon, which is unseemly to do their own pleasure thereon, and that they should not prepare anything thereon to be eaten or drunk, and that it is not lawful to draw water to bring in or take out thereon through their gates any burden which they had not prepared for themselves on the 6th day in their dwellings. And they will not bring in nor take out from house to house on that day, for that day is more holy and blessed than any Jubilee day in of the Jubilees. On this we kept Sabbath in the heavens before it was made known to any flesh to keep Sabbath thereon on the earth. And the Creator of all things blessed it, but he did not sanctify all peoples and nations to keep Sabbath thereon. But Israel alone, them alone he permitted to eat and drink and to keep Sabbath thereon on the earth. Just Israel, family. Just Israel. This is what we must do as his chosen people. We must keep the Sabbath, family. And the Creator of all things blessed this day, which he had created for a blessing and a sanctification and a glory above all days. This law and testimony was given to the sons of Israel as a law forever to their generations. This is what he gave our people to do. At some point, they got off of it. That's why we became the tail. Because of their sins, our ancestors' sin. Okay? Now, all of our ancestors, it was just too many of them fell when they fell. But like say when during the time Daniel was in Israel, and our father caused the Babylonians to come down and take captive some of the Israelites from the tribe of Judah and stuff and bring them up to the land of Babylon. But Daniel and his friends, Hananiah and Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, they was doing right in the land by Yah. But the majority of our people, has sinned against our Elohim. That's why he caused the nation of Babylon to attack them. But he had blessed Daniel and his friends all the while they was up in Babylon. They went through some trials and tribulations like any man or woman of Yah will have to deal with trials and tribulations. But he saw them through it. His three friends, Daniel's three friends, was cast in a fiery furnace, but Yah was right in there with him. Then he came out, then he smelled like smoke. Daniel was thrown in the lion's den overnight. Lions didn't bother him. He sent the angels down there to protect him. So he was protecting them. Just like when our people came out of Egypt, family, and a lot of them had turned against Moses and Aaron. They wanted to kill Moses. And so they was really murmuring and provoking Yah with the things they did and the words that came out of their mouths. So to make a long story short about that, was that he caused all the people above 20 years old and older to die in the wilderness, and the only ones made it into the promised land was the ones who was under 20 years old, and Caleb and Joshua. Because when they was part of the ones that went to spy out the land of Canaan, they the only 2 out of the 12 came back with a positive report. But all the other 10, they was like, oh, there are giants in the land, and we look like grasshoppers to them. And when they came back with that bad report, they infected the whole nation of Israel out there in the wilderness. So this really made our father hot. So he just said, okay, these people, he kept them out there 40 years until that generation died. But at the time, the Canaanites, were sinning in the land. So after that 40 years, our people died in the wilderness, and then Caleb and Joshua led the younger Israelites into the promised land, and they took the land back from the Canaanites, but they didn't do what Yah told them. I'm talking about the nation of Israel, when they supposed to destroy everybody. You know what I'm saying? Everything that was alive, they're supposed to just take it out, but they allowed some of the people to live among them, and then eventually our people started serving those people's false gods. They was disobedient. So disobedience come, as a result, not following the word of Yah, always going to be some sin to come behind it. So he says these things to protect us ahead of time. So it's up to us to stick with him and what he said in his word. Okay, family, now I'll be leaving from Jubilees, going back to the book of Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy. Okay, so now I'll be reading in Deuteronomy chapter 28, because at some point our people fail. Okay, now I'm just going to read some of the verses out of Deuteronomy chapter 28 from verse 15. Okay, now these are some of the things that happened to our people when they fell under the curses. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Adonai thy Elohim, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. What I got here? 15 to 20, okay? This is 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, cursed shalt thou be in the field. Cursed shall thy basket and thy storehouse. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy storehouse. Okay, cursed shall be the fruit of thy body and the fruit of thy land and the increase of thy kind, the flocks and the sheep. So our people went through these curses, because of sin, and he chose them to be the holy nation, blessed above all nations, on the top, leading the rest of the world's nations. The holy nation unto himself. The only nation that he had chosen to keep the Sabbath day, to keep the commandments, But when they fell and forsook his covenant and started serving false gods, sacrificing their children in the fire and stuff to Baal and Molech, those false gods of the Canaanites and stuff. And so now he's hot and he's angry. Now our people are not blessed no more. They're cursed. So he turned away from them and allowed the people, the nations to come above them. All that was a result of a curse. All that was a result of a curse. Our people were cursed. His chosen people were cursed. So now he'll cause these other nations to rise above his people that he had chosen. That was the result of a curse, family. That was not his intent. So as a result, because this is what happened, the whole world has been offset. Because Satan is leading these nations. They've been having world wars, wars here, wars there. You got the so-called mother church. It's like the things that they do. To children. But nobody's held accountable for it. They pay money and stuff to settle stuff like that, and then they send them somewhere else in another church, so nobody's held accountable. So that cannot be, the way of the Most High. As a result, because we're at the bottom, the nations are above us, and Satan is leading these nations. This is Satan's kingdom right here, the world. And all this happened because we are at the bottom, not the place where y'all intended for us to be. So the whole world is offset. The whole world is out of whack because Israel is out of place. And the whole world will be out of whack until our Father put us back in our rightful place when he's sending Yahushua HaMashiach back to this earth. That's when Israel will be put back in his rightful place, and the world will come off of this offset, and the whole world will be right again. But only when our Father sent Yahushua HaMashiach back, and Israel is placed back where the Most High intended for us to be, that's when everything will be right again. But it won't be right until that happens, family. Okay, now, what was that? Okay, curses thou be when thou comes in, curses thou be when thou goes out. Okay, now, did I read 20? And then the Adonai shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke, and all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me. Okay, now verse 25 says this. The Adonai shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. All that happened. We're still dealing with that. I shall go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. Now we know that this has only happened to the people of the world called Negroes. Okay? They call us black, but we're Israelites. That's who we are. Okay, but you know, a lot of people want to debate that, but I ain't gonna even argue because I know who we are. You know, okay, verse 32 says this: Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people. This is what happened to our people. And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand. See, a lot of our people are saying, you know, because they don't know who we are, and they're having conversations online and stuff and talking about, you know, the black man, if he was all that, you know, why did he allow our people to go into slavery? You know, he's supposed to protect the women and the children. But see, there was a lot of uprisings on those slave ships that they don't put in the history books. There were a lot of rebellions. They was having rebellions with our people like once a month. They was doing a lot of rebellion and a lot of uprisings. You know what I'm saying? But they don't want you to know that our people had this fight in them. So they was kept out of the textbooks and stuff. Okay? But a lot of our people have these arguments because they don't know who we are and that this was a curse on us because of the Adonai. And there was no way we was going to get out of it, you know, because he was our power. As long as they was doing right, keeping the covenant, keeping the Sabbath, he was among our people. And anybody that came up against our people, he slew them. He slaughtered them. The Most High was with us. The angels was among our people. Before they went under the curses, they had superhuman strength. Them 12 sons of Jacob, Israel, they had superhuman strength, superhuman speed because the angels was with them. Yah was with them. Okay? But once they fell under the curses, you know, all that left them. Yah left them, the angels left them, and Yah allowed Satan to lead the other nations to take his people down. And it's still like that to this day. They still running the nations. And the world going to be offset until Yahushua Mashiach comes back and put Israel back in its rightful place. And he going to be in the midst of us just like it was before, just like it was the Most High's intent to be for all time. Okay? Verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment and a proverb and a byword among all the nations, whether the Adonai shall lead thee. Now we know no people on earth have more byword names than us. Negroes, black, color, you know. Okay, and so on and so on. Verse 44 says this. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. All this happened as a result of a curse that was on Israel. And as a result, because the nations are over us, they're the head, we're the tail, the nations of this world are offset. Meaning they're out of alignment. This is not the way our Father intended for it to be. So that the nations in the world, the whole world is offset. It's offset. Yah intended for Israel to lead the world's nations. Until we are put back to where he intended for us to be, the nations of this world will always be offset and out of alignment. Okay? See, the very thing that Yah intended for it to be, that's exactly what's going to happen. And it's going to happen when he sends Yahushua Mashiach back, our Messiah. He's going to do it. That's right. Okay, now Romans chapter 11, verse 25 says this. For I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery, lest ye should be wise in your own conceits, that blindness in part is happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in. Blindness in part has happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in. Guess what, family? The fullness of the Gentile has come in. The fullness of the Gentile nations has already come in. And guess what? Israel ain't blind no more. See, because the fullness of the Gentile nations has has already been fulfilled. Now Yah has already awakened Israel. That's why we're awake, because the Gentiles has reached, the fullness of the Gentiles has already happened. See, everything is on the time frame of the Most High. They have the fullness of the Gentiles has come in, and so Israel is not blind no more. We know who we are. You see, the transition. Yah is in control, family, I'm telling you. But little by little, these things are gonna, happen more and more. Well, their fullness they've already reached the zenith of their fullness. They can't go no higher. So now Israel has to rise, and Yah is gonna do it, and he's gonna cause them to fall. And you can see that now. This country is losing all its allies, but see, he's in control, and he knew exactly who to open that door for to make this happen. He's in control, family. That's why I don't worry about voting and stuff. The person that Yah wants to be in that office, because, no matter what we think we are in charge of, things in the spirit realms move everything forward in this world, in this physical world. Things in the spirit realm moves everything forward. And all that happens in this earth, everything that happens in this earth is all a part of the algorithm to make what our Father's word that he spoke eons ago. Everything that happens in the universe, is just a part of an algorithm to make what he said to come about. Everything automatically starts lining up to what he said coming out of his mouth. Ain't no way you can stop it. Ain't no way you can stop the awakening. Ain't no way you can stop the Gentiles, nations from coming down. You can't stop it, because Yah's in control. He already spoke what was going to happen thousands of years ago. And so the algorithms through time is just still happening. You can't stop it. He's in control of all things. His intent was to choose the nation of Israel to be a holy nation unto himself, to keep his Sabbath, to be the leading nation of all nations on the earth. That was his intent. Because our people sinned and we got cursed, threw under the nations to be the tail, and they was placed above us, to be the head. All that was the result of a curse. That was not his intent. So we have to suffer our punishment, and we have. So they've had their blessing to be on the top. And now they have reached their zenith of being on the top. So Yah is making everything happen. I mean, he already spoke it. Ain't nothing you can do to stop it. So what's going to happen eventually, that's what I'm going to start reading right now in the book of Isaiah chapter 60. I'll be starting there. So the nations has, they have reached the zenith. You know what I'm saying? The fullness of the Gentiles has already come in. They can't go no higher. So now it's time for Yah, to prepare things to get ready to send his son back to put Israel back where he intended for us to be in the first place. Okay, now Isaiah chapter 60, verse 1 to 12, okay? Arise, shine, for thine light is come, and the glory of the Adonai is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness thy people. That's when our Messiah comes. But the Adonai shall arise upon thee. He's talking about Israel. See, it's going to be darkness when he comes. It says, but the Adonai shall rise upon thee. He's talking about Israel. And his glory shall be seen upon thee, his people. Okay? It's time for us to be put back where the Father intended for us to be when he sent Yahushua Mashiach to this earth, family. And the Gentiles shall come to thy light. See, we have his light. We have the light of his word in us. You know what I'm saying? He has given his light to his chosen people. Okay, and if they want to be illuminated and to be a part of that light, they got to come to the people who he gave the word to. Okay, a lot of them, with pride, holding out. Some have come and joined themselves and have been grafted in. But hey, those who y'all intended to be a part of this thing, they gonna be a part of it. So I mean, it's like ain't nothing you can do to stop it. But all the people want to hold out until our Messiah come. That ain't gonna work too good in their favor. If they wait till our Messiah comes, it's gonna be judgment time for them. Okay. Okay, and the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and kings to the brightness of thy rising. Lift up thine eyes round about, and see, all they gather themselves together, they come to thee. The sons shall come from far. Thy daughters shall be nursed at thy side. Then shalt thou see and flow together, and thine heart shall fear and be enlarged. Because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee. The forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee. The multitude of camels shall cover thee. The dromedaries of Midian and Ephah. Okay, all they from Sheba shall come. They shall bring gold and incense. See, that's when we're going to get our reparations, when he come. That's what I truly believe. He ain't going to allow the nations, I don't think so. See, they ain't going to nearly be able to do what he's going to do when he comes. Okay, so I truly believe in my spirit, in my mind, because I'm reading scriptures. It don't say that the nation's going to bless Israel before he comes. I haven't read it. If anybody have read it, please put it in the comments. But see, all this going to happen when Yahushua HaMashiach has come, when he's come back. This is we're going to be blessed. They're going to bring that gold to us. I haven't read it anywhere in the scriptures or any other books where it says the nations are going to bless Yah's people Israel before Yahushua HaMashiach comes back. I haven't read that. Okay, and they shall shew forth thy praises of the Adonai. All the flocks of Kedar shall be gathered together unto thee. The rams of Nebaioth shall minister unto thee. They shall come up with acceptance on mine altar, and I will glorify the house of my glory. Who are these that fly as a cloud? They're on airplanes, our people, and as the doves to their windows, surely the owls shall wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish first to bring thy sons from far. We're going to be on ships, and all these people and the angels going to be bringing us back to meet our Messiah, okay? The silver and the gold with them. See, this is going to happen when he comes back, okay? Unto the name of the Adonai thy Elohim, and to the Holy One of Israel, because he hath glorified thee, and the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and the kings shall minister unto thee. Okay, okay. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy upon thee. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually, they shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. For the nation and the kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. Now I'll be going to verses 18 and 19. It says here, violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction within thy borders. But thou shalt call thy walls salvation and thy gates praise. The sun shall be no more thy light by day, neither for brightness shall the moon give light unto thee, but the Adonai shall be unto thee an everlasting light, and thy Elohim thy glory. Praise Yah. We don't even need to lighten this up, the brightness of the sun no more, because the brightness of our Messiah is going to light up the whole nation of Israel, this whole world, Okay, now I'll be going down to Isaiah chapter 2, verses 1 to 4. This will be closing. And this is still when our Messiah is here and we in our blessing, put back in our rightful place. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Adonai's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills. And all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Adonai, to the house of the Elohim of Jacob. That will be the 12 tribes of Israel family, Jacob. And he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Adonai from Jerusalem, and he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. That is when our Messiah, Yahushua Mashiach, is sent back to this earth to redeem the elect from the nations and islands of this world, and we're to be put back in our rightful place with our Messiah in the midst of us, and he will be ruling all the nations on this earth with the rod of iron. So I'm Brother Judah Israel. I hope you got some understanding in Yah's precious name. And this has been The World is Offset Until Israel is Put Back into its rightful place. So until next time, Yah bless you. One love and shalom.